Alright, what's happening YouTube? Spectre here. And today, I want to talk to you about poor man's vlogging. Alright? Because vlogging, it adds up. It's an expensive thing to do, you know? But it doesn't have to be. So, step one, right? Bike. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I mean, maybe if you're doing like an RJ style compilation, just bike audio, that sort of thing, maybe then it helps have a nice bike. But if you're vlogging, I mean, to an extent the bike doesn't matter at all. I follow people with, you know, expensive sports bikes and fast nakeds. I also follow 125 riders. I follow scooter riders. You know, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. If you are entertaining, the bike is in a way secondary. It's, you know, you can make a scooter interesting. And equally, if you're boring, you can be on, you know, the nicest Ducati in the world, but it's not going to make a difference if you're, you know, dull. So, if you're thinking, oh, I don't want to start vlogging because I've got a 125, no one will watch me. Yeah, perfect example, Spicy 110. I've been subbed to that guy since, well, midway through Betty days, his first 25, or the first on the channel at least. It was a Chinese, you know, fairly crappy, sorry Spicy, 125. He replaced it eventually when he crashed it with another Chinese 125. And he was amazingly successful because he was a funny guy and he was interesting and clever. And because of that, no one cared that he had a little 125 Chinese thing. And equally now, people don't watch him because he's got a DRC 400 and because he's riding all these fast bikes. Most are still watching him because he's him. And he could ride a push bike and people would still watch it and laugh. You should never feel ashamed about what you ride. How you ride it, well, that's a very different thing. But maybe a topic for another time. So, you've got your bike. Next you need a camera. Now, even if you're not vlogging, even if you never make a video with it, I personally think you should carry a camera anyway, just because it's just good to have, you know? It's a dangerous thing we do, and, you know, we all deal with that in our own ways, but the fact remains, it is still a dangerous thing to do. And if you get in an accident, if you come off, if you get hit by someone, because statistically, that's one of the more common ways of having an accident on a bike, well, it helps if you've actually got evidence of this is what happened, here's a camera, here's footage. You can't argue with footage. It's not just your word against their word. So, which camera is the next one? Well, there's a million of them. Now obviously, you're going to want your new GoPro, Hero, whatever it is, Black 4, whatever it is. But the thing is, they're like 300 quid, 400 quid. Insert whatever value they actually are. But, you know, they're expensive cameras. If you're like me, you know, was a student, now graduated, so I'm unemployed instead. I don't have, you know, if it's a choice between get a camera or get a year's insurance on my bike, I'm going to get insurance on the bike. I don't have that sort of money to chuck around. So, cheaper option. I'm using the SJ Cam SJ4000. If you go on the SJ Cam website, I believe it's about 70 quid for this camera. There's a bunch of variations, a little square one to sort of mimic the GoPro Session. I got mine from Amazon. If I can still find the link, if the link still exists, I'll put it in the description for you. It was 52 quid, I think, including postage. 52 quid. The base model, shittest of the shit GoPro, is like 94 quid, and that comes with about 2 mounts. I'll put up a picture of my SJ Cam when it came out of the box. Just the sheer quantity of crap it came with. I've got all the mounts, I've had it side mounted and chin mounted, I've got extra sticky pads, I've got a handlebar mount if I want to record myself at some point. I've got like straps so you can just wear it as a headband. I'm not going to review the camera here, I'm going to do a separate video for that. But it's waterproof, it's 1080p 30, it's 1 hour 45 battery life. It's a good camera for what it is. Yes, it's not as good as a GoPro. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. The clarity isn't quite as good. I imagine the build quality is not quite as good. Although I've had no problems with it, I should say. The battery life's not quite as good. It doesn't do 1080-60. It's waterproof. I've had it in, like, submerged it fully in rock pools. Absolutely fine. It claims, I think it's 30-meter depth. Whether I want to test it to that, I don't know. But I've seen, if you go on YouTube, there's people scuba diving and doing all sorts of cool stuff with it. So I don't doubt it can do that. It's reasonable at night. You know, it's not bad. It's a little grainy. It's a little sort of you know, a little rough. But you can fuck with the ISO and all the rest of that. So you can probably get it looking quite nice. It's an option. The only problem you're going to have vlogging with it is it doesn't have external mic input, and the stock mic is, as with most of these cameras, shite when you're actually on the bike. It's just pure wind noise. In fact, I'll get around this corner and then cut to what this sounds like when using the external mic. You're not going to be vlogging with it without a mic, put it that way. What I would suggest, there's a YouTube channel called TechMoan. I'll put a link to him in the description as well. He reviews everything, all sorts of tech, like the name suggests, funny enough. He's reviewed basically all of the cheap action cameras. He reviewed the SP Cam 4000 in depth, properly. Here's all the features, here's all the menus, here's what it can do, his comparisons, etc. And he's done a bunch since, because I think it was 2013 or 14 he reviewed that one. Give him a watch. It may well be there's a better option since this camera. You've got your camera, right? Microphone. It doesn't really matter, microphone. The current one I'm using is a few quid from Amazon or eBay. It's the just bog standard basic lapel mic. And I'm sure you'll agree it sounds alright, you know? So you don't need to go out and spend 40 quid on, you know, official mics and all the rest of it. My second microphone is a bit nicer. It's about 8 quid, I think it was. It is a bit nicer. Unfortunately, it isn't recognised by my current audio recorder, but it's a really nice microphone. The only thing I'd say with microphones, take a look at which connector it's got on the end. You're going to have to do your own research at this point, I'm afraid, because I don't know enough to tell you which one to get, which one's better, etc. Oh, Christ, that was a mess. All I know is my second microphone, in theory, has a better connector, get more information through it, and it is nice clear audio. However, that microphone works with my phone and like my computer and all of this stuff, whereas my current microphone I'm speaking to you with now doesn't. But my current microphone works with my audio recorder and my nice microphone doesn't. Okay, so speaking of audio recorders, right? Cheapest option you're gonna find an app on your phone, okay? I'll put the exact name of the app I used because I can't remember it, and there are a million voice recorder apps. The app I used, it claimed to have an audio gain slider. Realistically, it just made me quieter. There was still a lot of wind noise and distortion. Alright, so we've got another mic test. We're on at 30. I know it's raining, so it'll be a bit low lighter. It's mostly legible. A few words aren't. I've got a very windy helmet. I've got quite a cheap helmet. There's a lot of wind noise in here. Maybe if you've got a better helmet than me, if you've got one of those little chin scarf things, if you can find a better mic, try that first, I'd say. Just before you buy anything, try that, because it's free. You know, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You've only wasted time, you know what I'm saying? And if you're not vlogging, if you're just using that for compilations like I do, it might even be good enough for you, you know. So say you haven't been happy with the results of that audio recorder, whatever. Well, what you're gonna need then is a standalone audio recorder. Now, I'm currently using an Olympus DM670. Again, I'll correct myself on screen if that was wrong. It's a really good recorder. It's a really nice little unit. It's got 3 microphones I can use if I'm not using my actual external microphone. So I'm hoping to get some really nice exhaust notes and stuff like that in the future. When I eventually remake or make a new intro, I'll be able to get some nice clean audio for it. But I got a really good deal on it because I was helped out by my good friend CornishBiker. Give him a watch, he's amazing. Tell him I sent you. But if I bought that new from Amazon or whatever, or wherever you buy from, it would have been 100 quid. And at that point, you might as well just buy a GoPro Hero, frankly. So look for a different alternative. There's plenty of options on audio recorders. I'm sure they all do more or less the same thing. Check your reviews. You know, see what you can get used. If you can get like a high quality one that's a few years old and used. I'm going to link in the description to a lady in America called RosieMoto. Again, sorry if Rosie, if I got that wrong. She's really nice. I've spoken to her in comments recently. She's really lovely. She vlogs with an SJ4000 on a scooter. So if you ever need proof that you can still vlog even with quote-unquote low-end kit, there it is. But she did a video recently where she tested 3 different audio recorders back to back, just to compare the audio you get from them, and it's just really useful. And her recorders were cheaper than mine, and she even said if you get them used, they're cheaper still. I think she had 20 or 30 bucks if you get them used. So give her a watch. It might be able to help you with picking audio recorders. So hopefully by now you've got your nice cheap camera, you've got a nice cheap audio recorder, you've got your nice cheap mic, and all of it is working well, and you've adjusted your settings so you've got a nice clear voice. Well, next step, editing software. Now obviously what you want is you want Sony Vegas, or you want Premiere Pro, or you want, you know, Final Cut Pro if you're a Mac. But these big name editors, yeah, they're powerful. You know, Premiere Pro is probably the most powerful there is. But Premiere Pro is $20, I think it is. $20 a month subscription. If you buy it outright, it's several £100. Same with Vegas. Same with Final Cut, I think. Now, the one I'm going to recommend is a strong word, but the one I use is called VSDC Free Editor. If I can find the link for it, I'll put it in the description. It's open source. There's literally nothing to help you in terms of tutorials, forums, whatever. There's nothing. You're on your own with it thoroughly. It's quite low in usability. You know, the interface isn't great. It's very unstable, so you're going to want to save a lot. But it's free. It's more powerful, and you can do more with it than, say, Windows Movie Maker or whatever. You can cut and edit your clips. You can fuck with the audio slightly. You can put transitions in and filters and effects and all of this stuff. Nice thumbnails. I mean, you can get GIMP is a nice little open source version of sort of Photoshop. You want to edit your photos and edit your images, draw some nice graphics and add text and such. And it will just help you stand out if you don't have the thumbnail is just a picture of a screenshot from the video. You can actually have a title and all of this. You don't need the big name brands. You don't need all of this expenditure to succeed. At the end of the day, this is just a way to get your audio and you and what you see and what you do up online for people. But once people can hear you and once people can see clearly, it's just up to you then to make yourself interesting and to keep people there, you know. And I wish you all the best of luck with that. I really